yan, Cool FM. Mapapakool ka dito.
Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masanggamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Cool FM! This is koolNews Early Edition.
Yes, everyone, good morning and welcome to, sorry for my voice that you just heard, but I just woke up. So yeah, good morning and welcome to koolNews Early Edition. So yes, today is Wednesday, July 24, 2024, and we will be here to serve you the latest headlines that you know and from yesterday and today, along with the latest broadcast of weather bulletin that we will get into later. Now let's get started. Okay, so now let's bring up the loaders. There it is. Okay, now let's go to the latest headlines. Let me see. Give me a second. All right. Starting with the first headlines. The chief of the Filipino Post on Tuesday confirmed the removal of the security detail of President Sara Duterte, saying they were transferred to beat up speed patrols, especially in Metro Manila. Earlier in the day, Duterte released a statement saying the PNP had issued a notice of relief to 75 personnel posted under the office of the Vice President. I want to assure the public that the PNP order will not affect my work in the office of the Vice President, Duterte said. Our work will continue in delivering the services to our fellow Filipinos, especially in the rural and underserved communities in the country. I do hope, however, that with this latest directive of the GPNP, we hear less cries from the people regarding the proliferation of drugs in the country, and that even fewer shall fall victim to various criminal activities, she said. With the reduction of the Vice President's security force came to light a day after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. delivered his State of the Nation address, which Duterte did not attend. Her absence at the event plus her earlier remark that she appointed herself designated survivor on Sunday Day, as the Post joke that Marcos' conventional allies did not find amusing, was seen as the latest sign of soured relations between her and Marcos, who took her as his running mate in the 2022 presidential race. In the chance interview with reporters, PNP Chief General Romel Francisco Marbel confirmed the pullout of personnel from the office of Vice President, but maintained that Duterte's office was not being singled out. The PNP's Police Security Protection Group PSPG coordinated with the Chief of Staff of Duterte for the transfer, he said. We didn't relieve them. We asked them if we could transfer the president because we need them in the NCR, National Capital Region, he said. We need to get our people because our policemen are already sleeping and tired working beyond their shift and nobody will take their place, he explained. Marble also explained that security vice president is the job mainly of the Presidential Security Command, a military unit, and that the PNP is only there to augment. The security of the Vice President is under the Presidential Security Command, not under the PSPG. We are just complementing them, he said. According to the latest available record, a 2022 report of the Commission on Audit on the OPP, Duterte had a total of 433 security escorts. Shortly after she assumed office in 2022, the Armed Forces of the Philippines created a new unit, the Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group, VPSPG, for the OVP. The VPSPG remained under PSC's supervision. The removal of the PNP component from the Duterte security force also came just over a month after she resigned as a secretary of the Department of Education DepEd and 5 days after she formally turned over the position to Senator Sonny Angara. It also suddenly left a gap in the security structure for an official who had repeatedly cited national security and intelligence considering as part of her areas of concern. Senate President Francis G. Escudero on Tuesday dismissed the letter of apology submitted to the upper chamber by suspended Bamban Talent Mayor Alice Guo. Although I understand the understanding she was asking for, until she shows up and follows the Senate's rule, I cannot accept any request she made in her letter, not only for understanding but also to help her constituents, Escudero said in a press briefing. He added that Guo did not indicate in her letter whether or not she would attend the next hearing, being conducted by the Senate Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality, chaired by Senator Risa Hontiveros. In a letter dated July 20, Guo apologized to Escudero over her statement that senators and other government officers should focus on issues in the country instead of being fixated on her. I would like to apologize if there has been any misunderstanding regarding my statements. I did not attempt to dictate or instruct the Senate on what it should prioritize, she said. I understand that each lawmaker has their own duties and responsibilities to the country. My intention is simply to provide suggestions based on the problems being experienced by my fellow citizens in Pampanga. The empaneled mayor also appealed to Escudero to help her constituents, saying her suspension has prevented her from fulfilling her duties as a mayor. I am requesting your help and understanding. I am hopeful that under your leadership, you will not neglect my fellow countrymen who are in need of government support, she appealed to lawmakers. But Escudero noted that the Pampanga vice mayor has taken Guo's place to continue the government's work in the Tarlac town. Guo also expressed her readiness to face all charges lodged against her in various offices of government, including the Office of the Ombudsman, the Department of Justice, and the Bureau of Internal Revenue. But Escudero said Guo should face the Senate so the warrant of arrest against her could be lifted. I hope that her lawyer advises her properly to face and put an end to this chapter in the Senate so that she can focus and concentrate on the cases she is facing, he said, adding that the Senate guarantees her safety if she decides to participate in the investigation. Guo was cited for contempt and ordered arrested for twice refusing to appear in the continuing Senate hearings where she had testified a few times earlier. She said that she had been traumatized and appealed to the Supreme Court to stop Hontiveros and her committee from further questioning her, claiming her constitutional rights to due process and privacy were being violated. The Department of Labor and Employment, DOLE, on Tuesday said it will roll out emergency and re-employment assistance to workers who will be affected by the total ban announced by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Philippine offshore gaming operators. The year-end deadline given by Marcos to close all pongos will provide DOLE with a window to prepare and implement its interventions, Labor Secretary Bienvenido Guzman said in an interview on DWFM. Guzman said DOLE's emergency employment, skills upgrade and retooling, training, and employment facilitation programs will be based on the profiling to be conducted for Filipino workers directly employed by POGOs. The Secretary said that of the 79 registered POGOs in Metro Manila, 28 have so far submitted the names of their employees. Based on the initial profiling conducted on about 10,000 employees from the 28 POGOs, they could find new jobs in information technology and business process outsourcing companies, he added. It was not immediately clear why DOLE's count of registered Metro Manila POGOs differed from that given by the chair of the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corp, Palcor, who on Tuesday said there were only 43 legal POGOs remaining. Asked if POGOs and Internet King licensees are one and the same, Guzman said that, based on my understanding of Marcos' pronouncements, the two terms are the same since Palcor had merely reverted POGOs as IGLs. In a separate interview on DZBB, Guzman said many POGO employees have encoding skills which are in the IT sector, and that those with administrative and finance skills may also find jobs in other companies. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. engaged in plain and simple propaganda when he reported in his third State of the Nation address that his administration had been waging a bloodless campaign against illegal drugs. This was according to the authors of a recent research project based at the University of the Philippines in Diliman, who said they had recorded around 700 drug-related killings in the country since Marcos assumed office in 2022. With the rhetoric and of having a bloodless drug war, the tendency of the people is to forget that all these killings are still happening, said Joe Ariate Jr. of the UP Third World Studies Center. And without public intervention, without institutions looking in at the practices of this government, then we will be thinking that the drug war is quite over, but it's not, he said in an interview with ANC on Tuesday. Ariate was reacting to one of the highlights of the July 22 SONA, where the president reported our bloodless war on dangerous drugs adheres and will continue to adhere to the established 8 E's of an effective anti-illegal drug strategy. Extermination was never one of them. But according to the DAHAS project of the UP DWSC, the research documented 359 drug-related killings from July 2023 to June 30 and 342 killings in the year before. The DAHAS report, which was written by research associates Lara Vinda del Mundo and Vincent Halok, said unidentified assailants, often masked gunmen on motorbikes, and whose attacks were seen by eyewitnesses, accounted for 135 or 37.6% of the 359 deaths since July 2023. State agents on the other hand, continue to be prominently involved and were responsible for 123 or 34.3% of the killings, the report added. Killings attributed to identified private individuals accounted for 63 deaths, 70.5%. There were also 38 recorded cases, 10.6% where the victim's body was just found and no one saw the actual killing. Despite several characterizations by Malakanan of the bloodless drug war, or as claimed by some, less bloody, state agents remain the primary perpetrators of drug-related killings in the 2 years of the administration of Marcos Jr., the researchers said in the report released on July 20. DAHAS, a project recognized by the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, was an offshoot of an earlier undertaking, the Violence, Human Rights, and Democracy Project, jointly conducted by UP and Jihan University in Belgium from 2018 to 2022 during the Duterte administration. For DAHAS, researchers collected data from the news media and social media posts from the various police units and related government agencies. In just a few minutes after the commercial break, we will be getting into the latest Pakasa weather bulletin because as of right now we are witnessing the typhoon Karina. So after the commercial break, we will show you the Pakasa weather bulletin right away. But in the meantime, let's continue with the big headlines and then we will head to commercial break. Separate forensic analysis conducted by the National Bureau of Investigation and Philippine National Police suggested that the man supposedly taking drugs in the viral video was not President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. At a press conference on Tuesday, the NBI said it used an imaging process called video spectral comparator to determine the authenticity of the video, which was reportedly shown at an anti-government rally in the United States. It shows a man, supposedly Marcos, taking what appears to be white powder from a small plastic container and sniffing it. The NBI compared the right ear of the person and the man in the video and pointing out their unique characteristics to show that these were two different people. Joseph Birol Cruz of the NBI said the features of Marcos' right ear were more embossed and larger compared to the unidentified man. And those are just the ears. The jawline and facial structure are also different from each other, Interior Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. added. The PNP agreed with the NBI's findings based on the separate analysis. These pictures show significant discrepancy in the facial features, particularly the size of the ear, shape of the eyes, shape of the nose, and the sideburns, PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group Director Brigadier General Ronnie Farid Aga said. According to him, they are also investigating those who spread the video and the sites that we uploaded up. The Department of Justice, however, could not say whether the man and the video was an actual person or created by artificial intelligence AI technology. But definitely, he's not the president, Justice Undersecretary Jesse Hermon said. Andres said. The intention is to make a misrepresentation. This imposter is trying to represent himself as an image of the president doing unsavory acts. This is really malicious, Andres said. NPA Director Jimmy Santiago said the video was created by disgruntled individuals who were belittling the intelligence of the public. They think we are small-minded, he said. According to Andres, they already have substantial leads on the possible perpetrators, and they are also looking into whether individuals who share the video may be liable for cybercrime. We are looking into that angle, whether there's bad faith in circulating this, and if you provided particular comments as if you are agreeing with respect to this video being a representation of the president, you may be equally liable for cybercrime, he said. Alright guys, it is now 16 minutes past 6 and we will be getting ready to show you the podcast weather bulletin as they are done live streaming, I think, but we'll just get ready now. So, koolNews Early Edition, we'll be right back. Stick around. are back. Now, as promised, we'll be getting into the weather right now. So here is the weather from Pangasinan themselves.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. At maulan na panahon ang ating naranasan sa halos sa buong bansa dahil po yan sa bagyo at habagat. At narito po ang ating update sa binabantay nating bagyong Karina. Inyong nakikita sa ating latest ng image na halos sa buong bansa ay nakakaranas po tayong maulap na kalangitan at may mga kalat-kalat na pag-ulan tayo naranasan sa Luzon and Visayas. Lalo na po sa western section ng Luzon at Visayas kung saan ay nakakaranas po tayo ng paminsan-minsang malalakas na pag-ulan. Ito na si bagyong Karina ay medyo malapit na po sa may Itbayat, Batanes, nasa layong 290 kilometers northeast ng Itbayat, Batanes. Bagyang lumakas ito, kaya ang lakas ng hangin malapit sa gitna ng bagyong Karina ay nasa 155 kilometers per hour at ang pagbugso nasa 190 kilometers per hour. Inaasahan pa rin natin na ito'y kikilos sa direksyong northwestward. Inaasahan pa natin na ito'y tutungo sa Taiwan sa bilis na 25 kilometers per hour. So sa ating forecast track, inaasahan pa rin natin na ito'y magdalan po sa Taiwan bago ito lumabas ng ating PER. Estimated na paglabas estimated na sa araw ng Huwebes ng umaga o madaling araw ay nasa labas na po ito ng ang bagyong Karina. So nakataas pa rin ng tropical cyclone wind signal number 2 sa Batanes. Signal number 1 naman sa Cagayan kasama ang Babuyan Islands, eastern portion ng Isabela, northern portion ng Apayao at northern portion ng Ilocos Norte. So sa ating image na halos yung mga lugar po na may signal, tropical wind signal ay nasa bandang extreme ng ating northern Luzon. So sa mga lugar po nito ay makakaras po ng masungit na panahon kung saan may mga malalakas na pag-ulan at malalakas na hangin. At kanina pong around 5 o'clock na umaga, nag-issue po tayo ng heavy rainfall warning. Red, ang mga lugar po nasa red, itong Metro Manila, Rizal, and Bataan. Orange naman, ito ay nasa Bulacan, Pampanga, Cavite, and Zambales. Yellow naman sa Tarlac, Laguna, Batangas, at Quezon. Ito mga lugar ito ay asahan po natin malalakas na pag-ulan dahil po yan sa southwest monsoon o habagat. So sa mga lugar po nito ay may posibilidad po na magkaroon ng pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa. So ang pinapahihon namin na maging mag-ingat, alerto dahil sa mga banta ng baha at landslide. Dahil naman sa bagyong Karina, may naasahan tayong malalakas o matitinding pag-ulan ngayon hanggang bukas ng hapon sa Batanes, Babuyan Island, northern at eastern portion ng mainland Cagayan at Ilocos Sur. Itong buong Cagayan, kasama na din Ilocos Norte, La Union, Abra, Benguet, Apayao, at eastern portion ng Isabela. Mostly po dito sa northern Luzon ay makakaasa o makakaranas po ng matitinding pag-ulan dahil sa bagyo. Bukas ng hapon hanggang Thursday ng hapon, ito yung inaasa po natin na sa labas ng PAR, pero may inaasahan tayong malalakas o matinding pag-ulan doon na naman po sa Batanes, Babuyan Island dahil sa bagyo. And dagdag ko po na sa lalabing bahagi ng Luzon kasama Metro Manila itong Western Visayas, asahan pa rin po na paminsan-minsang malalakas na pag-ulan dahil po yan sa habagat. So sa makatuwid, itong buong Luzon, and Western Visayas. Ngayong araw, asahan po ang pamisa-misang malalakas na pag-ulan. Kaya patuloy namin pinapaalala sa inyo, sa atin, na patuloy pa rin tayo mag-ingat at maging alerto dahil itong malalakas na pag-ulan, lalo yung tuloy-tuloy na pag-ulan, ay nandiyan pa rin po ang banta ng pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa. At sa lagay po ng ito yung minasan pa rin tayo na malalakas na hangin dulot ng habagat. Ngayong araw may naasahan tayong malalakas ng hangin sa Ilocos Region, Abrab, Benguet, Nueva Vizcaya, Quirino, Zambales, Bataan, Aurora, Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Bicol Region, Mimaropa, Visayas, Zamboanga Peninsula, Northern Mindanao at Davao Region. And then bukas, may naasahan pa rin tayo malalakas na hangin, mostly po sa Luzon. Ito sa Babuyan Island, Ilocos Region, Abra, Benguet, Nueva Vizcaya, Quirino, Central Luzon, Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, Bicol Region, Visayas, Zamboanga Peninsula at Northern Mindanao. At kanina po, nag-issue po tayong gale warning dahil meron tayong inaasang matatasang alon saan aabot ng 4.5 meters o halos 5 metro. Dahil po yan sa Bagyo, sa Batanes, northern coast ng Cagayan, kasama ang Babuyan Islands. So, sa ibang lugar po, kahit walang gale warning, ay pinag-iingat po namin na sa mga nagbabalak po malaot, na wag muna dahil sa kahit walang gale warning, masungit kasi ang ating panahon ngayon at pagbugso-bugso ang lakas ng hangin, tulad ng bagay ko kanina, may nasaan pa rin tayong malakas na hangin ngayong araw at bukas. At tapos mas pinapalala pa ng pamisa-misa ng malalakas na pag-ulan dahil sa habagat. Ayan po ang ating update sa ating binabantayang bagyong Karina. Mula sa Pag-asa, ako po si Alzardi Aurelio.
And that was the weather update bulletin from Pag-asa themselves. Once again, we encourage everyone to stay safe out there and be careful and also if anyone's planning to go out, I advise you not to go out because we have to be aware of what's happening with the weather right now. So yeah, again, stay safe everyone, stay safe. Okay, now let's continue with the usual headlines. Give me a second. Okay, now I will continue with the regular headlines. Let me just see this. Okay, continue where we left off. Let me just double check. Okay, now let's go continue with the Pogger game. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s sweeping directive to ban all direct Philippine offshore gaming operators POGOs received thunderous applause and a standing ovation at the Batasang Pampanga on Monday, but people tasked to carry out his tall orders were left out wondering what exactly will be banned. For the chair of the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corp PAGCOR, Marcos' orders were straightforward. The ban will cover even the 43 remaining legal POGOs, now called Internet Gaming Licensees IGLs by the gaming regulator, that have valid license to operate. His orders are very clear. I am instructing PAGCOR to wind down the operations of all POGOs tackled toward the House Joint Committees on Public Order and Safety and Games and Amusement during their hearing on Tuesday. I cannot wind down the operations of illegal POGOs because those are not within my jurisdiction. But the 43 in my jurisdiction, that's clear. I will wind them down, he stressed. Congressman, I am not in disagreement with the directive as I told this committee in the previous hearing. I will follow the President's order and what he said was very clear. Tanco's classification follows Rico del Norte Representative Robert A. Barbers and ACT Teachers Representative Franz Castro questions about the difference between POGOs and IGLs, as they expressed concerns that the ambiguity in wording could leave loopholes in enforcing the ban. The ambiguity left even lawmakers like Albay Representative Joy Calzada, who was part of the House minority that prefers to continue allowing legal POGOs to operate, to call on the president to find a way to ban POGOs without affecting IGLs. But as Tanco explained to the panel, the term IGL came into force after he assumed office last year, when he oversaw the implementation of stricter restrictions for POGOs and reverted them to rid these Chinese-centric gaming operators of the stigma associated with them. The POGO industry, which boomed during the Duterte administration, has been repeatedly linked to crime syndicates engaged in human trafficking, kidnapping, robbery, extortion, money laundering, online scams, and lately, espionage. POGO used to be the official destination for firms operating in the Philippines that offer online gambling services exclusively to markets outside the country, specifically China. To be legal, they must be licensed by POGO and were obligated to bar any individual in the Philippines, Filipino citizens regardless of location, and potential patrons in countries and territories where offshore gambling is illegal from availing themselves of their service. When Tanco assumed office, he placed all POGO licensees under probationary stance and required them to apply for a license as part of the new regulatory framework. This included the rated POGO Lucky Cert 99 in Pampanga, which previously had a valid license but failed the new guidelines. As of July 16, POGO said there were 33 duly licensed and 7 with provisional license. We changed the structure and guidelines and the name, so there's a big difference in how they operate. Tanco. That's why from 298 we were able to whittle down the number to 43 because many did not qualify. Intercorrelated Castro, Tanco conceded that POGOs and IGLs were the same and were the ones to be banned. Make sure to classify that when you make the recommendation to the president. Castro told the POGO chair, "We don't want to end up in a situation but where POGOs are banned but IGLs will remain." Given the 5-month deadline given by the president for all POGOs to leave, Interior Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. said he had already talked to Tanco and agreed to hold an interagency meeting with other officers involved to carry out President Marcos' order. The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission (PAOCC) also said this was enough time to identify the major players and foreign employees in the industry. This 5-month period provides ample time not only to identify the bosses, but more importantly, this will be enough to create a database of all foreign nationals working in these companies, PAOCC Undersecretary Gilbert Cruz said in a statement. He said the database was crucial to ensure that all foreign protocol workers will be subsequently deported to the countries of origin. In Congress, Speaker Martin Romualdez on Tuesday gave marching orders to Congress to draft legislation that would give teeth to the president's directive. He said measures in the House should be harmonized and result in the filing of a substitute bill, and requested the chairs of the House committees on public order and safety, games and amusement to make this the priority. Romualdez added the measure should be ironclad such that it would not only stop POGO operations by the end of the year, but should also prevent future administrations from resurrecting these criminal and illegal activities. The leader of the 300-strong House, however, said the directive will not stop ongoing House investigations on the criminal and other illegal activities linked to POGO. Senate President Francis Keith Escudero said their investigation into the POGO industry would likewise continue. However, he said there was no law, executive order, or administrative order needed to implement Marcos' directive. An order suffices. There was no EO, or law that legalized POGOs. A license issued by POGO made these POGOs legal, so banning them would just need POGO to revoke that license, he said in the press briefing. Escudero said Tanco had no choice but to automatically follow the president's order. He added that if the government really wanted to ban gambling in the country, it must cover all its forms. Whether it's POGO, Pico, or casinos, let's ban them all together if we truly believe that they are not doing any good for our society and our fellow citizens, he stressed. Malacanan ordered Tuesday the suspension of work in government office and classes at all levels in both public and private schools in Metro Manila, and amid intense rains brought about by the combined effects of Typhoon Karina and the southwest monsoon. The bad weather also led to the cancellation of 34 flights at Ninoy Aquino International Airport as the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority (MMDA) reported flooding in some areas in the National Capital Region, which resulted in heavy traffic. In view of the continuous rainfall brought about by the southwest monsoon and Typhoon Karina, work in government offices and classes in all levels in the NCR are hereby suspended at 2 p.m. today, July 23. Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin said in the Memorandum Circular 57. Bersamin issued the memorandum as Karina brought rains to Metro Manila, and the western parts of Luzon as they continue to intensify while moving northwestward. But he clarified that government agencies involved in the delivery of basic health services, disaster and calamity preparedness, and other vital services should continue with their operations. The suspended of work for private companies and in office are left to the discretion of their respective heads, Bersamin said. At Naya, 34 inbound and outbound flights were canceled on Tuesday, including 4 that were diverted to other areas due to bad weather in Metro Manila. These were Cebu Pacific Flight 5J-326 from Legazpi, which was diverted to Iloilo. AirAsia Flight C2-712 from Calibo, which was diverted to Clark. Flight C2-618 from Davao, which was diverted to Calibao. And Malaysian Airlines Flight MH-806 from Kuala Lumpur, which was diverted to Clark. Cancelled as of 5 p.m. were Cebu Pacific, Go, Ball Express, and AirSwift flights to or from Basco, Lalog, Tuguegarao, Busug Nanga, Rambalon, San Jose, Naga, Tacloban, Pagandian, and Davao airports. One international flight, Shenzhen Airlines Flight ZH-9011, bound for Shenzhen, China, and its return trip, CH-9012, were also cancelled. In an advisory, the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines said the operations of Basco Airport in Batanes and Palanan Airport in Isabela were suspended due to the typhoon. All flights were cancelled. Based on the MMDA's monitoring, the heavy rains caused good to deep to 8-inch high floods on EDSA Balintawak, Dario Bridge along EDSA, and E. Rodriguez Jr. Avenue corner, Goigoro Aranta Avenue in Quezon City, EDSA Chao Boulevard in Mandaluyong City, MacArthur Highway corner, Caliuno in Caloocan City, Ambrose Avenue corner, Aurora Boulevard in Pasay, and Bonifacio Drive corner, 25th Street, and Espena Boulevard corner, M. de la Fuente Street in Manila. The Department of Social Welfare and Development said its disaster response command center was on red alert due to the typhoon, with its manpower and resources on duty and ready for deployment to affected areas. Around 190,134 pesos worth of humanitarian aid has been extended to 224 families or 995 individuals in Central Luzon, Bicol, and Western Visayas, according to the DSWD's Disaster Response Operations Monitoring and Information Center. To ensure that assistance would immediately be extended to evacuees, 2.5 million pesos worth of relief goods have been stockpiled at its warehouse and field offices, in addition to around 1.5 million boxes of family food packs ready for distribution. Alright, and it's now 17 minutes before 7, and as we will be getting ready for 7 a.m. hour in a bit with more headlines and welcoming new viewers and listeners, we will be right back right here. Stick around. And we are back with more cool news early edition. So 10 minutes before 7 a.m. and we will continue with the headlines. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, let's go cover the responsibility. I don't know if I have already covered that. Let me just double check. Okay, I don't think so. Okay, alright, here we go. The leader of a group of Filipino fisherfolk exposed to China's frequent harassment in the West Philippine Sea has urged the government to take more considered action to allow them to fish freely. Able to tell the world that the West Philippine Sea is ours, we must get rid of the China Coast Guard and Chinese Navy ships patrolling in our territory, Rani Maguto, the Inquirer, on Tuesday, after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. delivered his third State of the Nation address. Mangu, the president of Biggest ng Manginista Federation, a group of fishermen from Zambales, Pangasinan, Bataan, and Palawan province, said that while they appreciated the president's assertion of the country's maritime rights in the West Philippine Sea, they found it lacking. The fishermen from Infanta Town in Pangasinan said that China Coast Guard vessels and Chinese warships continue to swamp the vicinity of Panadak's Corporate Shoal. The resource-rich shoal, which has been controlled by Beijing since 2012, is about 220 kilometers west of Zambales province, well within the Philippines' 370 exclusive economic zone. In his SONA on Monday, Marcos lauded Filipino fishermen in the West Philippine Sea for their diligence and sacrifice and said the country would not yield or waver in its maritime claims in the South China Sea. The West Philippine Sea is not a figment of our imagination. This is ours and will continue to be for as long as the spirit of our love for our country lives on and for all of us. He continued. Maycook reiterated his call for the president to fully implement the United Nations Convention on the Laws of the Sea and enforce the 2016 Emperor ruling to restore the freedom of Filipino fishermen to fish in any shoal within our EEZ. He also pushed for the Philippine Coast Guard and Philippine Navy to conduct regular patrols in the West Philippine Sea. On Tuesday, the Armed Forces of the Philippines said the number of Chinese vessels in the WPS has gone down to 80, including two Chinese warships and Icon Secretary Shaw, from July 60 to July 22. A total of 105 Chinese vessels were monitored from July 9 to July 15. The AFP said 3 CCG vessels and 7 Chinese maritime military ships remain at Panata. These were 4 CCG ships spotted at Ayugin, 1 in the vicinity of Pagasa Islands, and 1 at Escoda Sabina Shoal. The world's largest Coast Guard ship owned by China, nicknamed the Monster, has been anchored at Escoda since July 3, maintaining a distance of about 580 meters from the PCG's BRB Teresa Bangkua, which has been stationed in the area since April. Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, the Philippine Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, earlier said it remains to be seen whether the drop in the number of Chinese vessels in the area was related to the last bilateral meeting between Manila and Beijing, which sought to de-escalate tensions arising over the latter's growing aggressiveness in the West Philippine Sea. The Department of Finance has defended its directive for government-owned and controlled corporations, including the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, PhilHealth, to remit unused subsidies to the National Treasury, saying the excess money can be used to fund projects to help boost the economy. First of all, we are just following the of Congress. It said in the 2024 budget that the DOF should issue a circular to use these funds that are possibly just hibernating or sleeping and not being used by other GOCCs. Finance Secretary Recto said at the discussion following President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s State of the Nation address SONA on Tuesday. The Good Corporate Governance Office of the Government Corporate Council and Commission on Audit had also from the DOF directive was legal, he pointed out. Recto said the surplus funds would enhance the economy by approximately 0.8 percentage points, generating over 600 jobs to help the government reach its annual growth target of 6 to 7%. According to his projection, the economy will grow by 6% in the second quarter. The money, he added, would fund some of the priority projects under unprogrammed appropriations. These include the Metro Manila Subway Project, North-South Commuter Railway System, and Philippine National Railway South Long Haul Project, among others. The latest data from the Bureau of the Treasury showed that so far, 50 billion pesos in unprioritized subsidies have been remitted to the government, 20 billion pesos from PhilHealth, and 30 billion pesos from the Philippine Deposit Insurance Corporation. Rector said the DOF was looking at collecting around 200 billion pesos in excess funds from the two dioceses by year-end. PhilHealth, for its part, assured members the transfer of excess funds would not affect their benefits, adding that these would instead be explained and enhanced according to the benefit plan approved by its board. More positions will be made available for teachers to speed up their promotion, as promised by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in his third State of the Nation address. Education Secretary Juan Edgardo Angara said on Tuesday. At the sidelines of the Brigada Escuela event at the Naphtali A. Gonzalez High School in Mandaluyong City, Angara said that in line with the President's directive, the Department of Education DepEd would propose the creation of additional teacher positions behind the ranks of teachers 1 to 3. Based on an early inquiry report, under the salary stabilization law, teachers classified from teacher 1 to 3 positions fall under salary grades 11, 12, and 13, with wages of 27,000 pesos, 29,165 pesos, and 31,320 pesos, respectively. Agra said there was a slow turnover of positions among public school teachers due to a block in the teacher 3 rank. So, the teacher 3 position, we will create another teaching positions to pave the way for those down the rank, he said, adding that the new ranks will be Pantilka positions. Pantilka are permanent position items in the government with the corresponding authorized budget allotment in the Annual General Appropriations Act. The Department of Justice announced on Tuesday that it had started distributing survivorship benefits to eligible families of deceased retired prosecutors under Republic Act No. 11643. The benefits were credited to the bank accounts of the first batch of 25 qualified beneficiaries covering the period of January 1st to July 1, the DOH said in the statement. Under the law signed in 2022, the families of eligible prosecutors can receive survivorship benefits that include all acute retirement benefits the deceased prosecutor would have been entitled to. Our commitment to honoring our prosecutors goes beyond life, considering they have sacrificed so much in the administration of the criminal justice system, Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remula said. Based on DOJ Circular No. 38, signed by Remula in 2023, claims may only be filed by the legitimate surviving spouse, dependent children of the qualified prosecutor, or legal guardian or duly authorized representative of the qualified beneficiary or beneficiaries. 1 minute before 7, and we will be getting ready for 7 a.m. our koolNews. Okay, 20 seconds now, so we will be leaving you to the 7, not leaving you, we will now get ready for 7 a.m. hour. So let me just refresh the entire website just to see if we have headlines. Yes, we do. So now, okay guys, it is exactly 7.
Live from Kool Studios, this is koolNews Early Edition.
Alright people, if you have just joined us if you have just joined us to start your day with the latest morning headlines, well, Good morning to all of you and welcome to koolNews Early Edition. As we, so let's get into the recap of headlines that we have covered so far. Let me just bring up my history. So far, we covered PNP that removed 75 cops from Sarah's security detail. Escudero rejects good policy, tells her to face Senate anew. Dole to help find IT BPO jobs for displaced local workers. Marcos report on bloodthirst anti-drug drive disputed. NPI shares similar findings. Men in drug video, not Marcos. And also we covered the weather forecast from Pagasa. Along with Pagor, government work, metro classes suspended to the Garina. Christian folk, fund transfer from GOCC's Bico, DepEd, ICE more teaching posts to speed up promotions. King update prosecutors get survivorship benefits, and yeah, that's the first batch of headlines that we covered in the 6 a.m. hour of koolNews Early Edition. So once again, if you have just joined us for the headlines to start your day, well, good morning and welcome to koolNews Early Edition. Okay, so let's continue with the latest headlines so far. Classes in all levels and work in most government offices in Metro Manila are suspended on Wednesday due to inclement weather, according to the Presidential Communications Office. In view of the forecasted continuous rainfall brought about by the southwest monsoon and Typhoon Karina, work in government force offices and classes at all levels in the National Capital Region are hereby suspended at 5 a.m. today, 24th of July 2024. As recommended by the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, the PCO said in an early morning bulletin. Government agencies involved in the delivery of basic health services, preparedness response to disaster and calamities, and or the performance of other vital services shall continue with their operations and render the necessary services, PCO added. Suspension of work for private companies and offices is left to the discretion of management. Gutter to knee-high floods affected a number of roads in Metro Manila on Wednesday due to heavy rains, according to the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority (MMDA). As of 5:40 a.m., the following roads were submerged in an 8 to 19-inch deep flood based on MMDA's advisory. So starting with City of Manila, Bonifacio Drive 25th Street northbound and southbound, gutter height 8 inches. The Malasan Cor Bezara Street, Santa Cruz, gutter high 8 inches. Espena Caxon Avenue intersection, gutter high 8 inches. Roxas Boulevard, TM Calao, gutter high 8 inches. And Vito Cruz, 12th Avenue, knee high 19 inches. For Quezon City is G. Arianta Marcoleta SB, gutter high 8 inches. A. Rodriguez Arianta Avenue, gutter high 8 inches. And Balingawak and northbound, gutter height 8 inches. For Pasay City and Andrews Avenue, Dramo, gutter height 8 inches. Roxas Boulevard, EDSA northbound service road, gutter height 8 inches. Airport Road, domestic road, half tire 13 inches. And for Makati City, RS Guadalupe northbound, knee high 19 inches. And now for some kinda international news, Foreign Secretary Enrique Manalo and Defense Secretary Gilberto Delgado Jr. will meet with their American counterparts, State Secretary Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin III in Manila on July 30, 44th Philippines to U.S. Foreign and Defense Ministerial Dialogue. The officials will discuss bilateral cooperation on security and economy, according to the Department of Foreign Affairs. The four secretaries are expected to discuss how to further enhance our two countries' ironclad commitment to this alliance while enabling a common program in support of the rules-based international order, enhanced economic ties, broad-based prosperity, and solutions to evolving regional and global security challenges, the DFA said. U.S. Assistant Secretary for East Asian and Pacific Affairs Daniel Creighton-Blink in a statement on Monday said that Blinken and Austin would also continue to build the momentum of U.S. to Japan to Philippine trilateral cooperation. Although Typhoon Karina was not forecast to make landfall while moving northwestward on Tuesday, it continued to enhance the Habagat, dumping heavy rain over the west side of Luzon. The Government Weather Bureau raised tropical cyclone wind signal number 2 over parts of Batanes as continuous rain caused widespread flooding across northern and central Luzon, displacing hundreds of residents in the coastal and low-lying areas, according to the local Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office. In Metro Manila, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council reported on Tuesday that at least 7 people in Mindanao died from incidents related to the onslaught of Karina and Tropical Depression Buchoy, which hit the region last week. The NDRRMC said 4 deaths were reported in Zamboanga Peninsula, and 1 each in Northern Mindanao Region, Davao Region, and Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. In Cagayan Province, at least 86 people sought shelter in evacuation centers after floods submerged their communities. The Cagayan Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office reported that as of 6 a.m. on Tuesday, the displaced families were staying in shelters in the towns of Blanca, Gonzaga, and Santa Ana. Several low-lying bridges in the province were also flooded, including Bagonod and Tatay San Isidro bridges in Bagdiao, Natalac Overflow Bridge in Pena Blanca, and Maburao Kapanikan Bridge in Alacapan. Flooded roads include Tambuco, Balacan, Abaringangan Road in Santo Nino, and the Farm to Market Road and Bridge in Sitolog, Gonzaga, Cagayan. In Zamboanga, heavy downpours since Monday night flooded 36 villages in the towns of Manzanol, Manzantol, Macapepe, Minalin, Santo Tomas, and the city of San Fernando, according to PDRRMO Chief Angelina Blanco in the report on Tuesday noon. Flood waters reached up to 9.1 meter, 3 feet in the low-lying areas of Del Carmen and San Agustin villages in the city of San Fernando. San Fernando Mayor Vilma Calugad reported that 4 families from Block 7 in Barangay San Juan were evacuated to the village's multi-purpose center as the creek there overflowed on Monday night. High tide and monsoon rains also caused levels to rise as high as 0.97 meter or 3.2 feet in Masantol and Macapepe towns. In Bulacan, a high tide of up to 1.49 meter, 4.92 feet on Monday caused floods in the coastal towns of Hagonoy and Bulacan, as well as low-lying areas in the city of Malolos, including Guinito. At least 30 families from Stito Libis in Bulacan were evacuated to Taliptip Elementary School around noon after high tide inundated their community, according to Bulacan PRRMO. It said the week-long high tide began on July 19 at 1.28 meter or 4.2 feet and is expected to reach 2.88 meter, 2.89 feet by Saturday. Rains over the past several weeks, including those from Karina since Monday, prevented the further depletion of the volume of Angat Dam in Bulacan. As of Tuesday, the dam's evaluation was recorded at 177.55 meters above sea level, just over 2 meters below the minimum operating level of 180 meters above sea level. In Zambales province, water level in Santa Fe River and San Marcelino town continue to rise due to heavy rains. Although the water level remains within normal limits, the local disaster risk reduction management office (DRRML) continues its sandbagging efforts as a precaution. In Olongapo City, a warning on the rising river water in the river traversing Barangay Colocan was issued at 1:19 p.m. on Tuesday. The continuous rains also triggered flooding in at least 2 villages in Juban, Sorsogon on Tuesday. Some classrooms being prepared for the opening of classes were also hit by floods. Okay, it is now 11 minutes past 7 and we will have more headlines coming up right here on koolNews Early Edition, so don't go anywhere and stick around, we will be right back. And we are back with more koolNews Early Edition. Let's continue with the headlines. Let me just double check my thing here real quick. Okay. Alright. There we go. Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa assured the public on Tuesday that the bills and excess funds of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, PhilHealth, will still be used in the health sector. Last April, the Department of Finance instructed government-owned corporations to return their extra funds to the National Treasury, including PhilHealth's 89.9 billion peso surplus. I requested from Secretary Recto to use the health funds for health purposes. That's where the 7.4 billion pesos for the healthcare allowance came from, Herbosa said. I would like to assure our medical community the 89.9 billion pesos, as Secretary Recto promised, is health for health. Those were his words. Money for health, he added. When asked why he thinks PhilHealth has excess funds, he offered 3 territories. Either of these 3, my first theory is that their estimate may be too high. Number 2, the senior citizens they mentioned might have passed away, so the funds are more than enough. Third, these 4 individuals who are supposed to be included in the free premium, with the government paying for them, might have jobs, he said. In other words, the number of poor individuals might be decreasing, so there is an overestimate every year, he added. Last week, public health reform activists and Federal Watchdog called on lawmakers to investigate the executive department's decision to divert PhilHealth's excess funds to unprogrammed appropriations this year. Independent health reform activist Dr. Tony Lechon, in particular, questioned DOF Circular Number 003-2024, which directs PhilHealth to transfer 89.9 billion pesos in unused government subsidies into the National Treasury. Some fishermen here were dismayed after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. during his third State of the Nation address failed to mention his plans for fishermen whose lives were affected by the presence of the Chinese Coast Guard in the West Philippine Sea. Okay. In a telephone interview on Monday, Leonardo Goresma, president of the New Masilog Fishermen Association, acknowledged the president's efforts to pay tribute to Filipino fishermen and soldiers guarding the West Philippine Sea. But Goresma said Marcos did not indicate his plans for fishermen amid the tension in the judicial fishing ground that included areas within the Panadac Shoal. He did not mention any considered programs for fishermen, such as alternative livelihoods that can be provided despite what they continue to experience, Goresma said. Before the SONA, Goresma was hopeful that he would hear the government's plan for the fisheries sector, since they had seen that this administration was fighting for the country's sovereignty. He watched the live broadcast of SONA together with other members of the group, who were also disappointed. During his speech, Marcos said the country's ownership of the West Philippine Sea was not a figment of the imagination, but a reality. He then thanked the armed forces of the Philippines, the Philippine Coast Guard, and the Filipino officials for the sacrifices in guarding the country's territory. His remarks drew applause and a standing ovation from lawmakers and guests at the Batasang Papansa. But Joey Marabe, Pamalakaya, Zambales coordinator who joined those who traveled to Metro Manila for the multi-sectoral protest, said he could not applaud Marcos because there was no clear response to the plea for a peaceful return to West Philippine Sea. Aside from briefly mentioning it, there is also no considered program for the fishermen of Zambales whose livelihood are greatly affected by the expensive presence of Chinese ships in our fisheries, Marabe said. According to Marabe, what is important to fishermen now is how they could be able to fish in the West Philippine Sea uncontested. He assailed the Marcos administration for relying on military intervention by the United States, which only exacerbates the tension in the area. For Ronald Ambulo, Pamalakaya, vice chair, hardship suffered by Filipino fishers in the rising tension in the West Philippine Sea is especially not an imagination. This is a daily struggle of the fishermen that cannot be solved in the simply flowery words of President Marcos during his solo, Arambulo said in a statement. He said they were disappointed that Marcos did not even mention how to conceivably and peacefully assert the country's national sovereignty and fishing rights. Pamalakaya earlier reported that the income per vessel of Philippine fishermen fell by 60% due to the fishing ban imposed by China, but until now, they have not felt the government's assistance for Filipino fishermen. What is the use of Marcos' gratitude to our fishermen if it doesn't have a clear response to what we are facing in the West Philippine Sea? Arambulo lamented. It takes a simple drive to Santa Rosa Laguna to understand why it is a powerhouse city. The industrial site and recreational spot that marks Santa Rosa's landscape feel its fast-paced economic growth. And now the city is shifting gears toward a sustainable future. This component city of Laguna Province is a short trip away from Metro Manila through one of its connecting thoroughfares to the Luzon Expressway, SLEX. Take the exclusive ramp down the Santa Rosa Tagaytay Road and you will come face to face with the industrial food core of the city. Just near the highway exit are the manufacturing plants of Modernization Corp and the neighboring countries of Samico Brewery and Coca-Cola Company, its largest in the Philippines. Santa Rosa's Moro City Monkia becomes clear down the road as you spot the Toyota Special Economic Zone, which houses the company's head office and manufacturing plant, and that of Mitsubishi Motors and Greenfield Automotive Park. It's great to invest in Santa Rosa mainly because of the accessibility, City Information Officer Duga Sa Panta told the Inquirer. If you're a manufacturing plant, it's easy to travel to the south and north of Luzon because of the SLEX, he added. The city is also a booming hub for the business process outsourcing BPO industry, hosting companies like iCore, Teletech, and Concentrix. In 2013, IBM opened a facility in Santa Rosa, one of its next wave cities in the Philippines. In May, BPO Marketplace Accelerator ranked Santa Rosa as the fourth top BPO destination after Manila, Cebu, and Davao. Santa Rosa has grown significantly compared to nearby cities in Laguna and Calabarzon. Marlon Natividad of the National Economic Development Authority (NEDA) in the region told the Inquirer in an email. Its adventurous location has spurred its development, making it a prominent city, he added. Santa Rosa has reaped the rewards of its efforts with a 4.99 billion pesos income in 2022, the highest revenue among Laguna's local government units that year, according to the Commission on Audit. Santa Rosa Mayor Arlene Arcilas attributes this progress to a business-friendly environment that welcomes companies to Metro Manila, providing access to a large consumer market and business opportunities. The benefits provided by SECs play a big part in attracting companies to locate in the city. SECs are operated by the Philippine Economic Zone Authority, which assists, registers, and grants incentives to investors. Enabled by Republic Act No. 7916, SEC streamlined regulatory processes to attract investments. The local government has also streamlined the process of acquiring and renewing business permits by creating a one-stop shop in the city and an online option to obtain the documents. What's unique with Santa Rosa is its relationship with the businesses and private establishments, said City Joint Tourism Officer in charge, Gina Madin. The city is very competitive. There is a pool of talent. Investors look at that. Santa Rosa has won the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry's most business-friendly LGU award for the city level 2 category in 2030, and is among the LGUs frequently cited in the awards. Side by side with the city's economic boom is its recreational and residential thrust. When visiting Santa Rosa, guests are treated to a breezy welcome via the Cavite Laguna Expressway. They can explore the they can explore first-class communities like the 2,290-hectare Muvadli, Ayala Land's largest eco-city, and the 600-hectare Ecton City, a township project by Lucitotan's Alti Group, featuring commercial, and recreational sites. The city provides a relatively peaceful and suburban lifestyle compared to the hustle and bustle of Metro Manila, said Artvilas. The city's accessibility enhances its appeal as a residential destination for Metro Manila's workforce. Navidad views the city as a prime location in the Calabarzon-Sur de Luzon strategic development cluster that will serve as a key entry point to Calabarzon and accommodate the rising population influx due to immigration. This cluster provides opportunities to meet housing demands and offer a more affordable alternative for business locations compared to Metro Manila, he added. Tourists can make a stop at the theme park Enchanted Kingdom, which can host up to 25,000 guests in its 25-hectare property filled with rides and attractions, or shop at SM Santa Rosa, which opened in 2006 as the mall giant's first supermall in Laguna Province. SM Corporation is also setting its sight on an SM Premier Mall near New Valley. While the city scales new heights, the local government has not abandoned its historic heart. Emancipated as its own municipality in 1792, Santa Rosa became a key site in the Philippine Revolution as against the Spanish occupation, becoming a full-fledged city in 2004 under Republic Act No. 9264. It celebrated its 20-year cityhood anniversary this month. Santa Rosa is developing its Spanish-era city center into a heritage square that would create a balanced atmosphere between the past and modern society, according to a 2019 city ordinance. We are currently developing the plaza, the church, the heritage houses, and the museum are there, Zapunta said. The square also hosts various government offices and heritage houses that enclose the city's Spanish-era poblacion. Protecting the city's historic heritage would not only foster cultural growth but also open the door to further economic advancement, the city officials said. We want people, residents, and tourists to know Santa Rosa and how it evolved from basically agricultural land in the 1980s to its highly urbanized present, Mandin said. As they say, you can't love a place if you don't know what it was and how it came to be. With its deep roots in the past bolstering a thriving present, the city is accelerating toward the future. In partnership with the Department of Science and Technology Region 4A, Santa Rosa is becoming a smart city focused on efficiency and sustainability. The city has also teamed up with the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific to integrate the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals into its programs. Santa Rosa is continuously striving for excellence. We still think of ways to innovate and improve, Martin said. One such sustainability goal is clean energy. The local government is installing solar panels in its offices to shift to renewable power, and officials encourage residents and businesses to adopt solar energy if they are able. We have a city engineering office that plans how to conserve energy. The plan now is to make the Santa Rosa City Hall building a green building, said Zapanta. The city officials also said they are investing in disaster preparedness and water testing. Santa Rosa has set up its own water testing laboratory that can analyze wastewater and ambient water, with the facility set to open this year to cater to private establishments. Also, our command center uses state-of-the-art equipment for monitoring road incidents and flooding, said Made. Natividad sees a bright future for Santa Rosa as it will remain a key player in the Calabarzon economy. Through initiatives like the Smart City Go, Santa Rosa is set to become one of Calabarzon's leading cities, leveraging advanced technology and innovation to drive economic growth. Sustainability is a key aspect of Carcila's four-pillar framework, along with economic growth, social development, and good governance. Santa Rosa, as both an industrial center and emerging recreational hub, showcases the city's dynamic evolution, and the government's efforts for sustainable development and economic growth, she said. Santa Rosa's history and growth are highlighted every year at the Sikhayan Festival, which was celebrated this year on July 10. Named after the word Sikhay, which means diligence or persistence, the festival salutes the hard work of the city's residents in driving the economic vibrancy and cultural richness of Santa Rosa. In this year's festival, many private companies joined the industry testing facilities. It's another way of engagement between the private sector and the Santa Rosa government, said Martin. The close cooperation between the government, individuals, and businesses is what accounts for Santa Rosa's economic growth. For Arcilas and other officials, the strong civic consciousness and capacity for hard work among Santa Rosa's residents ensure that the city has an even more dynamic future ahead of it. If people aren't involved in planning, implementing, and monitoring, we won't be able to achieve this growth, Martin said. The reason we have this much progress is because of the people who work hard, not Sikhayan sila. And the country's largest business groups have backed President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s move to ban Philippine offshore gaming operators BOGO, with efforts underway to help find jobs for Filipino workers who will be displaced by the departure. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry has been working with the Department of Labor and Employment, the Private Sector Advisory Council, the Employers Confederation of the Philippines, and industry associations on the Jobs Project, and we hope to help these displaced workers. M. Nunina Mangio, president of the PCCI, said in a message sent to the Inquirer. The private sector-led project jobs aims to give employment to 1 million people this year. We also hope our national and local government at the front line of business processing and licensing systems could further ease such processes to facilitate the entry of legitimate new investments and expansion of old ones, Mangio added. For their part, Federation of Filipino Chambers of Commerce and Industry Incorporated President says Silo Pedro said in a message that we are so positive with the SONA State of the Nation after speech of Marcos, especially with regards to the de-escalation of the tension in the West Philippine Sea and planning of progress by the end of the year. These are very crucial issues that needed attention and decisions from which were acted upon. We are very positive that the country will move forward in the coming days and look forward to a very positive year ahead of us, he added. Roberto Claudio, president of the Philippine Retailers Association, told the Inquirer that he found the president's speech very powerful, citing that it gave a detailed description of the government's programs that were achieved, as well as the future priorities of the administration. Asked whether he thinks the POGO shuttle will affect the retail industry, Claudio said he believes the move will have no impact on their sector. They bring in their food and supplies. They consume China-made products brought into the country in the same manner they bring their financial assets, he said. Meanwhile, Federation of Philippine Industries Chair Yes Araza said that the president's move to ban POGOs is the right move, noting that any economic contribution that the sector brings is outweighed by associated crimes. It's POGOs a source of corruption, a source of all sorts of crime. It is outlawed in China, and yet we are receiving them here, Aranza said in a phone interview with the Inquirer. He said that even the sector's contribution to the job generation is questionable, noting that the majority of POGO workers are Chinese and are not Filipinos. At least 2 foreign business chains have expressed renewed optimism following the president's SONA. The American Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, AmCham, noted that they had previously called on the president to support critical legislation that promotes inclusive broad job generation, poverty reduction, and global competitiveness. We appreciate that today the President highlighted the EPIRA or Electric Power Industry Reform Act amendments to help boost energy security and economic development and create more corporate recovery and tax incentives for enterprises to maximize opportunities for reinvigorating the economy to update the country's investment incentive policies to strengthen competitiveness, Cham said in a statement late Monday night. We also repeat support for Legislative Executive Development Advisory Council priority measures such as the Connect Tantong Pinag Bill, which will expand internet connectivity and benefit the many digitalization efforts raised during the President's speech. Cham is also backing the creation of the Department of Water Resources, which it said will address the country's long-running water security and supply concerns. Additionally, the Business Chamber noted airport governance reform bills, which it sees as crucial to improve the Philippines' aviation and tourism sectors. Meanwhile, the European Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines said it appreciates what it described as a comprehensive and forward-looking SONA. The Chamber recognizes the administration's continued efforts to address critical issues and foster a thriving economic environment in the Philippines. The ECCP said in the statement, which it also released late Monday night. The ECCP is encouraged by the President's emphasis on key priorities, including boosting the agriculture sector, advancing environmental protection, and the fight against climate change, promoting industry growth, accelerating infrastructure development and digital transformation, advancing human capital development, promoting job generation, and ensuring social welfare and protection, it added. Okay, I'm really hungry. Okay, alright, it is 20 minutes before 8 and we will have more headlines right here before 8 a.m. hour of koolNews early edition, so stick around. People, we will be right back. Alright, and we are back with more koolNews Early Edition. Yes, it is 30 minutes before 8 o'clock. Okay, so let me just I need to prepare the food for a bit, so just give me a second. Just give me a second, guys. I need to get the food ready. Okay, that took a while, but I'm back now. I got the food right now. Let's continue with the headlines while I'm eating breakfast because I'm really hungry right now. Okay, let's see if anything new. Yes, we do have a new thing. Wait, is this still alerting here? Um, Let me just double check. Okay, no. Okay. Alright, let's get into that now. The House of Representatives will support President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s development plan through a strategic allocation of next year's budget. Alcopico Party List Representative also the said Tuesday. Give me a second. Ko, who heads the House Committee on Appropriations, said in a statement that he will support the President's plans by ensuring that key projects will have sufficient allocation. President Marcos again demonstrated his unwavering dedication to uplift the lives of every Filipino. His comprehensive plans and intuitives are a testament of his vision for a brighter future of our nation, Ko said. Again, I'm gonna eat again. Give me a second. I'm really hungry. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. As chairperson of the House Committee on Appropriations, I will ensure that necessary funds for his priority projects are properly allocated, he added. Ko said the House plays a very important role in crafting the budget, as proper management of resources will ensure the continuity of programs. An integral part of the success of your President's vision lies and our ability to judiciously allocate funds where they are most needed. The President has set clear priorities that will drive our nation forward, and it is my duty to ensure these priorities are met with the appropriate financial support to turn them into reality, he added. Marcos mentioned several gains of his administration abroad. Excuse me, I think I said something wrong here. Okay, Marcos mentioned several gains of his administration during his State of the Nation address on Monday, like the effect of infrastructure programs, particularly the construction of roads and bridges, like in the implementation of disaster risk management intuitives and climate change response, and health programs that seek to prevent malnutrition and protect mothers and their infant children. However, the president also admitted at the start of his speech that these good statistics do not mean anything in Filipinos' struggle to buy basic goods and commodities like rice, which still sits at around 45 pesos to 65 pesos per kilogram. Co said agricultural development and modern farming method will address Marcos' concerns about the price of goods, noting that House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez has instructed them to allocate funds for the irrigation and fertigation, contract farming, seeds distribution, and farm mechanization. We also support intuitives like handing out certificate of land ownership award, the presidential assistance to farmers, fisherfolk, and families, and infrastructure projects that include solar irrigation, farm to market roads, and other programs to give farmers a better life, he said. Per the instruction of President Marcos, we will continue constructing new legacy hospitals in various regions. We're also upgrading existing medical facilities to safeguard the health of the people, which is why we need to ensure funds are properly allocated, he said. Ko also noted that infrastructure development will be supported along with education. Quality education is the foundation of our country's future. We will make the necessary allocations to improve schools and educational facilities, give more scholarships, develop our teachers to better educate our youth, he said. President Marcos can count on the support of the House of Representatives to deliver the best public service to our citizens, he added. Okay. Is this man? Okay, wait. I'll get into that later. Oh, my bad. There are no registered Philippine offshore gaming operators focused in Cebu province, but suspicious activities related to the non-abandoned industry were reported, according to Interior Secretary Benjamin Abalos Jr. Abalos made the revelation in an unabashed interview at the National Bureau of Investigation, citing reports of Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation procurement Alejandro Tanco. The Department of Interior and Local Government Chief also said he will go to Cebu province next week to investigate. We're going to Cebu next week because there are reports that there are such activities, Abalos said partly in Filipino, referring to suspicious structures similar to those raided Poco hubs recently. But remember, there are no Poco in Cebu, no licensed Poco, nothing, Abalos also said without further elaborating. Abalos noted that the raided Poco in Polat, Pampanga, and Pampanga were also unlicensed. During a Poco hub raid in Polat, town in June, a total of 180 people were rescued over reports of human trafficking, while some of the 4 employees allegedly tortured or sold for sex. Last March 13, 371 Filipinos and 487 foreigners were rescued from a Pogo hub in Pampan, Tarlac, which was raided for alleged human trafficking involvement. The Pogo was linked to now-suspended Bambang Mayor Alice Guo. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. instructed the ban of Pogo sites in his third State of the Nation address. Marcos gave pagor until the end of the year to fully stop Pogo operations. And businessman Alvin Chu Tang takes the helm as the 45th president of the prestigious Rotary Club of Bagumbayan, Manila, at the recently concluded 44th Hanover and 45th induction ceremonies held last July 19 at the Wat Wat Golf and Country Club. He takes the reign from outgoing President Jojo Wei Ching. Tang is passionate about his main intuitive of introducing gamified outreach programs during his term. He feels that by incorporating interactive and engaging elements in their service projects, he will be able to attract and encourage the younger generation to join their club, fostering a new wave of enthusiastic and dedicated audience. On their most recent outreach early this month, he debuted the use of GG trucks carrying giant mobile LCD modules that became an instant hit with the youth. Head of Engineering and Design Hans Chico Say Jr. was present to extend his congratulations and support to his close friend. His father, Sen Rie, chairman of China Banking Corporation, was also present at the festivities and was kind enough to extend a heartfelt message in their souvenir program. The younger Say even let the cat out of the bag that Tang will be taking his public service efforts to a higher level by running for Congress in the coming national elections. Tang fervently wishes to fix the woes of our lackluster transport system, to make it more efficient for the public and make their daily lives more economically productive and progressive. Tang brings his wealth of knowledge and experience to these roles, bringing the CEO of the biggest cell phone retail in the country, Cellboy, with 200 branches, of 1,000 employees, and nationwide. Oops, it is exactly 8 o'clock, so now we have to get ready for 8 a.m. hour of koolNews Early Edition. Stick around.
This is koolNews Early Edition.
Alright, it is exactly 8 o'clock. If you have just joined us for koolNews Early Edition, well, good morning and welcome to koolNews Early Edition. So, if you have just joined us, here are the recap of headlines that we have covered so far in 7 a.m. hour. So here it is. Let me give it a second. I'm sorry, I'm kind of eating. Okay, give it a second. Okay, so here are the recap of the headlines that we covered so far in the 7 a.m. hour. Work in government offices, classes in Metro Manila suspended for Wednesday. Flooded roads in Metro Manila as of Wednesday morning, which we have listed earlier. U.S. officials arriving for defense talks on July 30. Luzon folk flee as Karina triggers floods, landslides. PhilHealth's excess funds to benefit health-related programs are going to the Department of Health. Amid Philippine Sea tension, Sabalas Fishers seek livelihood plan. Booming Santa Rosa eyes sustainable future. Business groups cheer Poco ban. House committee to back Marcos development agenda. No Poco in Cebu, but will investigate suspicious sites according to Apollos. And new president of Rotary Bagumbayan, Manila, according to Alvin Chu Tang. Okay, so now let's see if we have a brand new headlines for this hour. Okay, we do have a brand new headlines. Okay, we do have brand new headlines. Recently, with the starting with the MMDA no number coding scheme. Okay, red rainfall that we already have showed you earlier in the 5 a.m. podcast weather bulletin. So we're not gonna read that one. There's even more, huh? There's even more. We'll get into more in just a bit. Okay. All right. Starting with the MMDA coding number coding scheme, the Metro Manila Development Authority suspended the expanded number coding scheme on Wednesday. Suspendido na ang pagpatupad ng expanded Unified Particular Volume Reduction Program ngayong araw, July 24. Kasunod ng inunsyo ng Malacanan na walang pasok sa government office at pasok sa lahat ng angkas ng paaralan sa Metro Manila dahil sa patuloy ng pakulan na dulot ng bagyong Karina at Southwest Monsoon, MMDA said in an advisory. Earlier Wednesday, the Presidential Communications Office made the announcement on the suspension. In view of the forecasted continuous rainfall brought about by the Southwest Monsoon and Typhoon Karina, work in government offices and classes at all levels in the National Capital Region are hereby suspended at 5 a.m. today, July 24, 2024, as recommended by the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, the Presidential Communications Office said early Wednesday morning. Several flights on Wednesday were cancelled due to heavy rains caused by Typhoon Karina and the Southwest Monsoon, said the Manila International Airport Authority. Below is the list of cancelled flights, said the MIA as of 7 a.m. So here are the following, starting with KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, KL 808 Taipei to Manila to Taipei, SEPGO DG, DG 6031, 6032 Manila San Jose to Manila, DG 6113, 6114 Manila, Naga Manila, DG 6117, 6118 Manila, Naga Manila, DG 6177, 6178 Manila, Masbate, Manila, Super Pacific 5J310 Manila, Taipei, 5J310313 Manila, Taipei, Manila. Meanwhile, some flights have also been diverted due to unfavorable weather. Royal Air RW130 ng Manila SDA as of 4 a.m. I think supposedly diverted to Clark. Good to knee-high floods affected a number of roads in Metro Manila on Wednesday due to heavy rains, according to Metropolitan Manila Development Authority (MMDA). As of 6:31 a.m., the following roads were submerged in an 8 to 19-inch deep flood based on MMDA's advisory. So here are the following list. City of Manila, Bonifacio 35th Street northbound and southbound, gutter height 8 inches. Dima Salang Cor Becarat Street, Santa Cruz, gutter height 8 inches. Espera Locson Avenue intersection, gutter height 8 inches. Roxas Avenue, Calao, gutter height 8 inches. Victor Cruz to Craft Avenue, Cape knee high 19 inches. Espana Arm side below gutter 7 inches. Espana Antipolo Street half tire 4 inches. Espana B Margal Blue Madrid half knee 9 to 10 inches. Espana M de la Fuente half tire 13 to 14 inches. For Quezon City, G. Arianta Maclara southbound gutter high 8 inches. E. Rodriguez Arana Avenue, gutter height 8 inches. Balindawak MB, gutter height 8 inches. For Pasay City, Andrews Avenue, Tramo, gutter height 8 inches. Roxas Boulevard, EDSA northbound service road, gutter height 8 inches. Airport Road, domestic road, half tire 13 inches. Makati City, RSM Guadalupe northbound, knee high 19 inches. Okay, so looks like there are no brand new headlines for me to cover, so we'll get to that in a bit. I'm just gonna get some food real quick. Alright, so let's check the global nation now. Okay, so far, none. Okay, so let's see there. Okay, so we'll be covering the headlines from yesterday. So that's just about the Pogo game. Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez has asked lawmakers to quickly grab a bill seeking to ban following offshore gaming operators Pogos after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. mentioned it during his third State of the Nation address, SONA. In a statement on Tuesday, Romualdez said he convened a meeting immediately after the SONA on Monday. I met with leaders and top secretary officials last night in my office. I asked them to come up with a proposed legislative measure that will put a halt all Pogo operations in the country effective December 2024, as ordered by the President, he said. This, however, will not stop the ongoing House investigation into the criminal and other illegal activities linked to Pogo. Hopefully, the House can learn from the hearings on their modus operandi and the brains behind these activities as part of inputs for the proposed measure that we will be crafting, he added. According to Romualdez, the House Secretary officials informed him that there are several bills and resolutions seeking to ban Pogos. Among these are House Bill number 50982 from Manila 6th District Representative Juan Bonido Abante Jr. and House Bill number 10525 from ACT Teachers Party List Representative Fres Castro, Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Rosas, and Kabataan Party List Representative Raul Manuel. Here are the following solutions that will seek to ban Pogos. House Resolution number 503 filed by Rizal 4 District Representative Juan Vito Nobrales. House Resolution number 1197 filed by Cagayan de Oro City 2nd District Representative Rufus Rodriguez. House Resolution number 1524 also filed by the Makabayan Bloc. And privileged speech of OFW Party List Representative Marisa Maxino. Romualdez said these bills must be harmonized into one substitute bill that is acceptable to all stakeholders who participated in the committee hearings. I am requesting all the committee chairs concerned to give this a priority. For the House Committee on Public Order and Safety to submit a comprehensive report and recommendations to the Committee on Games and Amusement as soon as possible. And for the House Committee on Games and Amusements to come up with a committee report for immediate plenary deliberation, the Speaker said. I want all places in the total Pogo ban covered in the proposed measure. We have to ensure that the operators will not just resort to guerrilla operators or go undercover. The law must be crafted with ironclad provisions to prevent a resurrection of these criminal and illegal activities, he added. Marcos received a standing ovation after he announced a ban on all Pogos, citing the problems that these have brought to the Philippines like rising crime rates. The President also instructed the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation to wind down and cease the operations of Pogos by the end of the year. According to Romualdez, a law is still needed despite Marcos' order, so that the ban on Pogos will extend beyond Marcos' terms. We want this to become a legacy of President Marcos. We will ensure that syndicated criminals can no longer move using Pogos, and we will hold the masterminds and the leaders of the syndicate accountable, the Speaker said. Marcos called for a total ban on Pogos, drew cheers even from the opposition. It is now 9. What the frick? Okay. It is now 12 minutes past 8, and we will have more headlines coming up right here on koolNews Early Edition, so stick around. And just before we we will also be covering some entertainment and technology news in this hour, so stick around. We will be right back. welcome back to koolNews Early Edition. As you can see live on, the feed right now, as you can see the tollway areas in Venezuela right now are having heavy traffic, as you can see right now, while the rest are doing fine. And yes, we are seeing some weather conditions right now here. Okay, now let's get back into the main headlines as we will continue now. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, alright, so now let's continue, shall we? Yeah, let's see if I have any headlines. Okay, we do have a brand new headline, guys, and this is about Kamala Harris again. Yup. Okay, so let's get into the headlines in just a bit. Let me just get the foot real quick. I need to finish the foot right back. And I'm back. Oh, now let's get into some international headlines, ladies and gentlemen. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris is narrowly beating rival Donald Trump in the national presidential poll released Tuesday, one of the first conducted since U.S. President Joe Biden ended his re-election campaign. Harris holds a 2-point lead over Trump, 44% to 42%, according to the Reuters Ipsos poll. It was conducted in the 2 days after Biden announced Sunday he was dropping out of the race and endorsing his vice president. In the previous week's poll, Harris, age of 59, and Trump, now the elder in the presidential race at 78, were tied at 44%. Harris, the overwhelming frontrunner for the Democratic nomination, who is recting in endorsements and donations as well as pledged delegates, narrowly trails Republican flag bearer Trump in another survey also released Tuesday. Both results are with the poll's margins of error. The new surveys followed both the Republican National Convention, where Trump formally accepted the party's presidential nomination, and Biden's leaving the race. Harris' performance in the polls, bolstered by the excitement among Democratic voters about the shake-up in the race, shows her apparently neutralizing the bounce that a nominee gets in the days after his or her party's nominating convention. In a PBS News NPR Mars poll on Monday, Trump edges Harris with 46% to 45% of US registered voters, with 9% undecided. If third-party candidates or independents are included in the contest, Trump and Harris are tied at 42%, with the others far behind. The PBS News survey notably found that 87% of all Americans think Biden's decision to drop out was the right move, a view that crossed partisan and generational lines. A plurality of respondents, 41%, said Biden's decision increases Democrats' chances of winning in November, compared to 24% who said it decreases the party's odds and 34% who said it makes no difference. Both surveys come in after the aftermath of Trump surviving a shocking assassination attempt at the Pennsylvania rally on July 13. Trump maintains a very narrow advantage of 1.6 percentage points against Harris, according to an average of polls collated by Real Clear Politics. Alright, guys, as we are now getting ready for tech news now, let's move on to The Verge, as we are done with Inquirer in the meantime. And we will get back to Inquirer in the last step of koolNews early edition. Okay. Excuse me, still eating. It's just a recap there. Alright, it's time for tech news, ladies and gentlemen, as we have last 10 minutes for this gap until the commercial break. Tesla published its second quarter of 2024. Published its second quarter earning reports, in which the company said it earned $1.48 billion in net income on $25.5 billion in revenue. That represents a 2% increase per year over year compared to $29.9 billion in revenue in the second quarter of 2023, but a 45% drop in net income. Tesla's gross margins were in the spotlight again, as bullish investors hope to see improvements after years of steady deadline, rampant price cutting, and cooling demand, as well as cheaper financing have pushed the company's once funded margins to their lowest point in 6 years. The company reported 18% gross margins based on generally accepted accounting practices, slightly more than the 17.4% reported last quarter, but down slightly from second quarter of 2023. In its letter to shareholders, Tesla celebrated the fact that EV penetration returned to growth globally, which the company said was attributable to improving sentiments from customers. We believe that a pure EV is an optimal vehicle design and will ultimately win over consumers as the niche on range, charging, and service are debunked, Tesla said. The news comes after a better than expected delivery and production report early this month, which sent the company's stock soaring. Tesla is producing and delivering fewer vehicles than it did a year ago, 4.76% and 14% respectively, but it still beat expectations on Wall Street, which had been anticipating far worse numbers. It has unquestionably been a whiplash of a quarter for the company. Tesla abandoned its plans to build a more affordable Model 2 vehicle and then recommitted to it. Musk announced a robotaxi reveal event for August, but then delayed it until October. The company embarked on a massive series of layoffs, including the entire supercharger team, and then hired many people back. Tesla's advanced driver assist technology came under harsh scrutiny after a previous recall failed to prevent driver misuse. And Tesla shareholders again approved a massive pay package for Elon Musk after a judge tossed out the first one. On top of that, Musk endorsed Donald Trump for president, inserting his companies into a fraught political environment that is likely to have repercussions for Tesla's sales and brand reputation. This is a developing story. Years after Twitter replaced the pistol emoji with a green and orange water gun, X has decided to change it back to a regular handgun. An ex-employee announced the change in a post last week. The company hasn't explained the change, but it feels on brand for Elon Musk's social network. Twitter originally switched its emoji to display a water gun in 2018, following orders like Google and Facebook. Apple made the switch in 2016. Microsoft was a brief holdout. Eventually, the Unicode Consortium, which decides which emoji get made in the first place, followed the platform's lead and officially renamed the pistol emoji as Water Pistol. Emoji are universal insofar as they share common destinations across platforms. U plus 1F52B is a water pistol, which are decided by the Unicode Consortium. But it's up to each platform owner now to decide how they're visually represented. That's how we got the Great Cheeseburger emoji debacle that was resolved in November 2017. You only see the gun if you're looking at X on the web. As of this writing, it doesn't appear to have updated in mobile versions of the app, though that's apparently on its way at some point. And good news for open source lovers, Meta is releasing Llama 3.1, the largest ever open source AI model, which the company claims outperforms GPT-040 and Anthropic's Claude 3.5 Sonnet on several benchmarks. It's also making the Llama-based Meta AI assistant available in more countries and languages, while adding a feature that can generate images based on someone's specific likeness. CEO Mark Zuckerberg now predicts that Meta AI will be the most widely used assistant by the end of this year, surpassing ChatGPT. Llama 3.1 is significantly more complex than the smaller Llama 3 models that came out a few months ago. The largest version has 405 billion parameters and was trained with over 16,000 of NVIDIA's ultra-expensive H100 GPUs. Meta isn't disclosing the cost of developing Llama 3.1, but based on the cost of the NVIDIA chips alone, it's safe to guess it was hundreds of millions of dollars. So given the cost, why is Meta continuing to give away Llama with a license that already requires approvals from companies with hundreds of millions of users? In a letter published on Meta's company blog, Zuckerberg argues that open source AI models will overtake and are already improving faster than proprietary models, similar to how Linux became the open source operating system that powers most phones, servers, and gadgets today. He compares Meta's investment in OpenAI to its earlier Open Compute project, which he says saved the company billions by having outside companies like HP help improve and standardize Meta's data center designs as it was building out its own capacity. Looking ahead, he expects the same dynamic to play out with AI, writing, "I believe the Llama 3.1 release will be an inflection point in the industry where most developers began to primarily use open source." To help get Llama 3.1 out into the world, Meta is working with more than 2,000 companies, including Microsoft, Amazon, Google, NVIDIA, and Databricks to help developers deploy their own versions. Meta claims that Llama 3.1 costs roughly half that of OpenAI's GPT-4 to run in production. It's releasing the model ways so that companies can train it on custom data and tune it to their likings. Unsurprisingly, Meta isn't saying much about the data used to train Llama 3.1. The people who work at AI companies say they don't disclose this information because it's a trade secret, while critics say it's a tactic to delay the inevitable onslaught of copyright lawsuits that are coming. What Meta will say is that it used synthetic data or data generated by a model rather than humans to have the 405 billion parameter version of Llama 3.1 improve the smaller 70 billion and 8 billion versions. Atman Al-Dalil, Meta's VP of Generative AI, predicts that Llama 3.1 will be popular with developers as a teacher for small models that are deployed in a more cost-effective way. When The Verge asks if Meta agrees with the consensus that the industry is running out of quality training data for models, Al-Dalil suggests that there is a ceiling coming, although it may be farther out than some think. "We definitely think we have a few more training runs," he says, but it's difficult to say. For the first time, Meta's red teaming or adversarial testing of Llama 3.1 included looking for potential cybersecurity and biochemical use cases. Another reason to test the model more strenuously is what Meta is describing as emerging agentic behaviors. For example, Al-Dalil tells me that Llama 3.1 is capable of integrating with a search engine API to retrieve information from the internet based on the complex inquiry and call multiple tools in succession in order to complete your task. Another example he gives is asking the model to plot the number of homes sold in the United States over the last 5 years. It can retrieve the web search for you and generate the Python code and execute it. Meta's own implementation of Llama is its AI assistant, which is positioned as a general-purpose chatbot like ChatGPT and can be found in just about every part of Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Starting this week, Llama 3.1 will be first accessible through WhatsApp and the Meta AI website in the US, followed by Instagram and Facebook in the coming weeks. It's being updated to support new languages as well, including French, German, Hindi, Italian, and Spanish. While Llama 3.1's most advanced 405 billion parameter is free to use in Meta AI, the assistant will switch you to the more scaled-back 70 billion model after surpassing an unspecified number of prompts in a given week. This suggests the 405 billion model is too expensive for Meta to run at full scale. Spokesperson John Carvell tells The Verge that the company will provide more information on the prompt threshold after it assesses early usage. New imagery feature in Meta AI scans your face through your phone's camera to then let you insert your likeness into images it generates. By capturing your likeness this way and not through the photos in your profile, Meta is hopefully avoiding the creation of a deepfake machine. The company sees demand for people wanting to create more kinds of AI media and share to their feeds, even if that means blurring the line between what is discernibly real and not. Meta AI is also coming to the Quest headset in the coming weeks, replacing its voice command interface. Like its implementation in the Meta Ray-Ban glasses, you'll be able to use Meta AI on the Quest to identify and learn about what you're looking at while in the headset's fast mode that shows the real world through the display. Aside from Zuckerberg's prediction that Meta AI will be the most used chatbot by the end of this year, Meta has yet to share any usage numbers for its assistants. I think the entire industry is still early on its path towards product market fit, Abdal says. Even with how overhyped AI can already feel, it's clear that Meta and other players think the race is just beginning. With that, it is now 70 minutes before 9, and we will have entertainment headlines coming up right here on koolNews Early Edition. So stick around, we will be right back. And we are back with more cool news early edition. It's now 9 minutes before 9 and we will be wrapping up in few minutes, so let's get into the one national headline that just came in and then we will move on to entertainment news. Work in the Senate and House Representative has been suspended on Wednesday, in light of the submarine water caused by Typhoon Karina and the southwest monsoon or Habagat. In an advisory issued Wednesday morning, Senate Secretary Attorney Renato Pantoc said Senate President Francis Escudero ordered the suspension, citing various weather-related circumstances in view of the continuous severe weather caused by the southwest monsoon and Typhoon Karina. The deep flood at the Senate entrance and the forecast for minimum to heavy rains over Manila and nearby areas. Senate President Francis Escudero has declared the suspension of work at the Senate today, 24th of July 2024. The advisory reads. According to Pundak, the session will resume as scheduled at 3 p.m. on July 29. Considering the current weather conditions as reported by the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, please be advised that work in the House of Representatives, including the conduct of the plenary session and committee hearings, are suspended today, July 24, House Secretary General Reginald Velasco said. The Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, PAGASA, in an early morning update reported that Karina was last spotted some 290 kilometers northeast of Ibayat, Batanes. It was moving northwest at 25 kilometers per hour with maximum sustained winds of 100 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 190 kilometers per hour. Karina also enhanced the southwest monsoon or Habagat, which is expected to bring moderate to intense rainfall in the western part of Luzon from Wednesday to Friday. And now we will move into entertainment news, starting with yesterday's entertainment news, mind you. Okay, let's start with the local showbiz. Chris Aquino got sad results from a recent medical test which, per her close friend Dino Balares, might have prompted the immediate return of her sons Josh and Bimpi to the United States. Through his Instagram page on Monday, July 22, Balares spoke about the siblings' earlier flight to the US, where Chris has been seeking treatment for her autoimmune diseases. Maraming ang nag-expect na matatagal sa Pilipinas si Bumpy dahil na-i-announce nito ng kanyang mama Chris sa interview sa kanya ni Ogie Diaz sa kanilang buhay sa County, California. He said, noting as well as that Bumpy had already begun the negotiation for his showbiz career. Tama ang inisip ni Chris para kay Bimp na maranasan din ang regular school at ang mas malawak pang mundo. Pero may message sa akin si Chris na sure akong naging cue ng mabilisan pagbabalik sa US ni Bimp. I have set blood results, sabi nila. Balares continued without elaborating on what the medical results mean. Balares and then underscored that while Bimpi is happy with his relatives and friends in the Philippines, his mom remains his topmost priority. Inaalagan at pinalalaki ni Christy si Bimp first upang maging guardian ni Kuya Josh at pangkalawa upang maging maalaga, lalahanin at loving sa lahat, Balares stated. Pero magkakapaghintay ang anumang plano dahil syempre si Mama Chris ang kanyang laging priority. Kaya niyaya si Kuya Josh at agaran na silang lumipat, he added. Josh and Bibi flew back to the US last July 17. And well, in international happenings, concerns are growing over an increased number of K-pop bands facing plagiarism accusations, with recent cases involving popular groups like New Jeans and Lisa Blackpink. Recently, English Judge Bank Funk Bank Shakatak reportedly appointed a domestic law firm in Korea to represent the group's interests and issued a formal notice demanding that New Jeans cease its using as legal set bubblegum and compensate for damages. In a letter of claims sent to Adore, the music label for New Jeans, and its parent company Hippie last month, Wise Music Group argued that New Jeans bubblegum, produced by 250, Oscar Bell, Sophie Simmons, and Gigi, unlawfully incorporated elements of the band's Easier Said Than Done without the consent of the British music publisher. Wise Music, the copyright holder of Shatak's song, further stated that bubblegum violates copyright laws and demanded that Adore take corrective actions. Adore confirmed it was aware of the issue Thursday but denied the accusations. Bubblegum does not unfully use Shakatak's composition, and we have requested an authoritative analyst report to prove this. Shakatak's team replied on June 21, but hold on. Okay. Shakatak's team replied on June 21 that they would provide the report soon, but we have yet to receive it, another official said. Proof burden of proof lies with the accuser, and Shakatak needs to prove the report to substantiate the claims. New Jeans is not alone. Lisa of Blackpink has also been accused similarly by Gabriel Moses, the director of American rapper Travis Scott's music video for Finn. He shared a screenshot of an anonymous name via email on Instagram on July 4, accusing Lisa of blatantly imitating a scene from Finn in her video for Rockstar. 2 days later, Moses further said on social platform X, "They reached out to my editor to work on this, by the way, and Finn was a reference. And he said nah, and they did it anyway. Enjoy the rest of your day." Lisa had remained silent on the issue as of Friday. Even K-pop agencies are suing each other over claims of copying one another's styles, concepts, and choreography. After Adore CEO Jin accused the lit rookie K-pop group under Believe Lab of imitating New Jeans in April, Believe Lab fought both criminal and civil lawsuits against Min for obstruction of business and defamation. Believe Lab and Adore both subsidiaries of Hippie. Music critic Lim Yi-yoon attributed the increase in plagiarism culture overseas musicians to the global popularity of K-pop and its large size. Lim also mentioned that bubblegum not only resembles Shakatak's Easier Said Than Done, but also other songs like Daft Punk's Losers of the Dance due to recent pop music trends of using strong and addictive hooks with fewer than 5 notes in the melody. The Korean Music Copyright Association states it cannot determine plagiarism issues independently. And that is it for koolNews Early Edition. As always, thank you so much for your continuous trust and support. And to those who have just joined us for the morning headlines, and I would like to say thank you so much for joining here to start your day with us. And yes, we will be back again with more headlines later with koolNews at 11 a.m., koolNews at noon, koolNews at 4, 6, and koolNews Prime Time at 9. Until then, I am Cairo, aka Aspir, and we will leave you off now to the music zone. And we will see you later for more headlines at 11 in the morning. Goodbye for now, and good morning.